Welcome here to an all-new edition of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City studios. Great Lakes Honda City is where you could get all of your rides, whatever size, whatever your flavor is, from the Accord to the Civic to the Pilot, the HRV, the Ridgeline, my favorite, the CRV, and more. You can go to Great Lakes Honda City today, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York, open Monday through Saturday for sales and service. And you can find out more and get a sneak peek of what they have on the lot by going to GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Speaking of cars, that makes me think of speed. And this guy who's next to me here on the screen, he blew the doors off the speed in the pro day for Syracuse inside of the Ensley Center. You know, they expect wide receivers to be fast. They hope that quarterbacks are fast. They pay attention to see if running backs are fast. But this linebacker, well, you know, he used to be a running back too, so I can understand why this man's got some speed to him. Marlowe Wax Jr. here of Syracuse Orange history. Crazy for me to say that right now. Syracuse linebacker, alum, and a 2025 NFL draft prospect. I'm not going to tell my favorite team what to do. Jaguars, you know, do the right thing. But I'm just looking at 32 NFL teams out here, and that means 32 opportunities to make the right decision. Marlowe Wax Jr. is not only a fantastic football player, he is a fighter. He has fought through adversity. He has risen through challenges off the field, on the field. He has been consistent with me. He's someone I would vouch for. He's been a good friend. He's been a good person. And he's been a heck of a beacon for the Syracuse football program to carry the torch to the future. So with that being said, Mr. Wax, how are we doing?
Man, I'm doing good. Appreciate you for having me. It's definitely been good. It's been a while, but definitely great to talk to you again.
Well, yeah, and now that you can talk to whoever you want to, and there's no middle person where I got to ask permission and wait 3 months, this is nice. so,
Yeah, for sure. For
so,
sure.
so we were talking about it off the air. The hair is gone. You
Yeah, it
got
is.
you got. I mean, I saw you yesterday, and I was like, I know I shaved my hair low, and I looked at you. I was like, man, there's half a Marlowe on the head right now. So, what made you do it?
Man, honestly, when we first met, when I was 17 years old, I had like a lot of hair.
Yeah.
So as I kept getting older, it kept getting lower and lower and lower and lower. Like this past season, it was a little bit higher than this, but I just right after the season, right before I went down to Florida to go train, I was like, man, let me cut it low. I'm going down there to train, new chapter. Let's just do it. And people say when you cut your hair, you might run a little faster. So that was definitely a thought.
And you said you trained down in Florida. Where did you train, and what part of Florida?
It was in Tampa, Florida, with Yo Murph the compound. It was a great time. The weather was amazing, and definitely a grind though.
And for you going down there, I know that I've talked to guys over the years about this experience of going and training somewhere. Typically, a lot of guys that I've talked to from Syracuse go down to Florida. Why did you choose the place that you chose? And did you get to work with, and I'm guessing this answer is going to be yes because I hear about this all the time, but did you get to work with other guys that are going out for the draft in Division One FBS?
Yeah, for sure. So for me, um, Yo Murph was a guy that I built a strong relationship with. I was going down to his facility back when I was House of Athlete about 3 years ago, 2022, 2023. Around that time, I was going down there every single spring for the past 3 years. So me and him built a great relationship, just going down there and just seeing how he run things and how a combine will look. But also, I've had guys previous years from Syracuse that went down to him and said all great things. Iffy went there, was now on the Dolphins. Garrett Williams, a guy that I'm really close to, he also went there. Now who's now in the Cardinals, and also Zaire Franklin is a guy that trains with him. I'm not too sure because I'm not too sure if he did combine with him, but Zaire also trains with him in the offseason. So just that's three guys right there that's in the position where I want to be and has I have a lot of trust in, and they trust Yo Murph a lot. So it was really no brainer for me. We talked a lot towards the end of my season, talking about me coming there, and it was really easy. He really wanted me down there, and yeah, it was a lot of other athletes training for the combine and also the pro day. So we all were just pushing each other, and we were with each other every single day. So it was definitely you got close with some guys who come from all different types of schools. So that was definitely the cool part about it.
Did you have any guys down there that came from schools that you faced?
Yes, it was the Miami running back. So me, Justin was down there with me. So me and Justin was we were talking about the Miami game a lot with him. He was mad about it. But some Virginia Tech boys, one boy from NC State. But no, it was definitely all talks. Competitive. We all competitive about it, and most of the teams that were down there we beat this year, so we were definitely good. We were definitely good. It wasn't like nobody was talking down on Syracuse at all.
Well, yeah, and like you said, and I talked to Justin Barron about this. I told him, I said I saw that video at the Senior Bowl where he was looking at the Miami Hurricane mascot, and he said that there was somebody over there, and I think he was like there was a guy on the team, and so he was kind of like making it known. But there's a video of him looking over at the Miami Hurricane mascot, and he goes, "I know you remember us." So,
Hmm.
I mean, what's it been like to have that, to go down to Florida and to have those bragging rights? I mean, Syracuse, and I don't know if you know this, but Syracuse had not faced Miami in the Dome in 22 years. It was
Yeah,
22 years to the exact day, Saturday,
yeah,
November 30th, 2002 to Saturday, November 30th, 2024. And the last time they faced each other in the Dome, they were in the same conference, but it was the Big East. Now they're in the
uh,
same conference, ACC. 22 years of separation. Miami bounced Syracuse out of the Dome then. Y'all bounced Miami out of the Dome this time. What was it like to be the first Syracuse team to face Miami in the Dome in 22 years and let them know that this time around they're not going home with any type of victory?
no, it meant everything. Honestly, just how this year went, and definitely it just being my last game in Dome. Definitely, probably one of the most memorable games I'm gonna have for my Syracuse career. Just beating a highly talented team like that, and a team that was ranked number 6. But also, just the bragging rights part. The guys from down south, from definitely down in Miami and Florida. They are historically had a lot of talent, and they feel as though up north, definitely with Syracuse, just history behind it. They feel as though us up north guys don't really have too much talent, and we can't beat nobody down south. So for them to be able to come up here and us, like you said, knocking them out the dome, is definitely great, and it's just something they can never take from us, really.
I said something to Cal McCord, and I want to get your thoughts on it. He had more yards this season passing than any Syracuse quarterback in the history of Syracuse University. He had more passing yards this season than any ACC quarterback in a single season ever in history. He was at the top of the mountain above Cam Ward, Jackson Dart, Riley Leonard, Will Howard, Arch Manning, so on and so forth. I mean, you name it, he's above that person. And I know that Arch shared time with Quinn Ewers, above Quinn Ewers as well. So when I looked at the Heisman, and there was 4 guys there, Cam Ward was there, but head to head, you guys beat him. McCord helped to beat him. McCord had better numbers than him going in, better numbers than him going out. So my question to you is, why was Kyle McCord not in New York City as a Final Four finalist for the Heisman?
Oh, you getting deep there, but firstly, I'm gonna look within us. Firstly, I gotta say those two losses we had three, but those two losses we had where we could have controlled was Stanford and Boston College. That's two losses where, and I know they look at the quarterback for success of the team and everything like that, which isn't all the way fair because
Yeah.
they don't look at that when they're trying to see a running back or a receiver and all of that. But those two losses doesn't look great on our resume. But other than that, it's just a politic thing. Like we know about it. People look at the block as a little bit different than how they look at other schools, which is really unfair. Which when you really get down to it, when you get down to the numbers and details and everything, you can put our numbers up against anybody, and definitely Kyle's. Like you just said it, you just read everything off, and nobody can top it. So it's just unfair. Same competition as as a guy that was there, same competition and everything. And he had better numbers than a guy that was in New York City. So doesn't really make any sense to me. It's just whoever the media chooses to blow up that year, which they're all talented. So it's nothing wrong with that. But I just feel as though Common Core is a guy that should have been there also.
You're on the defensive side of the ball. You're going into the draft here in 2025 with Rondé Gadsden the second, who played tight end, and obviously we know he's wide receiver, tight end. He's got that hybrid, and then you were on the other side of LaQuint Allen Jr., running back, quarterback Kyle McCord, offensive lineman Savion Washington, who's massive. I mean, you see these guys, Jackson Meeks at wide receiver, that are going into the 2025 NFL draft with you. To be a defender, to be at practice, and to watch the talent that I just named, what is the NFL getting in those guys? And would you be, I mean, if you could have an ear to an NFL GM, would you be saying, hey, listen, I was with these dogs in practice, in film study, and they were not easy to cover? I mean, what can you say to those that you did have? Because you said there's a disrespect for the block S on the outside going in, and I agree with you. But from the inside looking out, those offensive guys that are heading to the draft, you see them in practice all the time.
Yeah, those guys, just a group of guys that's just all have the same goal and that can really work with each other. Like you see that they all just about had they all had above 60 catches. Like they can go into any system with any other receivers in that room and really thrive. Also with LaQuint, he can thrive in that room. Like he doesn't have to be the true number one guy because he's still going to thrive on his own, get with the carries that he gets, and also other guys with the catches that they get, and really just who's gonna make up for their quarterback if the quarterback does have make any mistakes. Like Jackson Meeks is one of the best 50-50 ball receivers in the draft right now. Also with OG with his stature, and he's just a matchup problem. And just going through it, like we named OG, Jackson Meeks, LaQuint, all those had catches. And there's another guy, Trevor Payne, who's going to be coming out next year, who also did the same thing, and who I was super proud of this year, just being able to show his talent. But all those guys are just giving them an opportunity that they're going to be able to flourish. And they all just play with a huge chip on their shoulder. Like I feel as though everybody from Syracuse going into the draft right now, we all do. I feel like that's why we had success this past year because we all of us has been doubted in some certain way. Some guys that's why they came to Syracuse because they've been doubted, and guys that have been at Syracuse the whole time. Like we talk about the disrespect of the S, we've been disrespected and doubted the whole time. So it's definitely a big thing. I feel like GM should definitely take a look into that.
Do you feel that this 10-win season that ends with a bowl victory that was a mighty victory over Washington State and probably could have been even more if you guys wanted to keep pushing it and keep pouring it on, has this season done something, in your opinion, to really hit that narrative and to put a crack in that narrative of the disrespect of Syracuse?
For sure, 1000%. But firstly, I gotta give Coach Brown his flowers when he first stepped into the building. Just his demeanor and how he just knows how to do things. I feel like there was a lot of eyes on Coach Fran and just the way that he recruits and the way that he works and the way that the media just loves him sometimes because he's just a guy that just like people love to attract to him. So that's something to start there. But also it wouldn't happen if all of us, the team included, we didn't put the work in this past year and win 10 games. So I definitely agree. Definitely think it's definitely turning around, getting the respect that we deserve, and the culture going in the right direction.
You said really nice things about LaQuint Allen Jr., but I'm going to ask you this because you used to be a running back. Who would be better, you as a running back or LaQuint as a linebacker?
Uh, I know LaQuint plays safety in high school, but he's just like a guy that's just all go, like no all gas, no bricks. So I feel like I gotta say me at running back just because I was super natural at it. But LaQuint on defense though, he would be an animal just being able to like I wouldn't think he'll be missing no tackles. There'd be a lot of hard hits and anything everything like that. But it's gonna be hard to slow him down on defense.
Absolutely, I agree. Now
Yeah.
this season, and we've had you go through adversity before, and obviously adversity. I think you realize this now. I hope you do. I definitely have. Is that people want to go through life without adversity, but if you go through life without adversity, you have no idea who you're capable of being. You're never going to know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Going through the adversity that you went through at Syracuse, different coaches, different position coaches, head coaches, coordinators, going through injury and whatnot. different defensive setups and different things asked of you. Who is Marlowe Wax today, post adversity that you've had?
What was adversity? A guy that's just super faith driven. He gives all his praise and thanks to his Lord Jesus Christ, just following the steps that he places for him, but also just a guy that's just he loves who loves him. Like he's very open to whoever is just giving him opportunity to do what he loves. And player wise, a guy that can do it all. It's just anything he's asked for he can do, and it's I really mean it. There's nothing I feel like I can't do in the linebacker position. If we're talking about coverage, run defense, anything like that. And a guy that's just when it is time to step up and be that leader, he can do it. He's done it for 3 years at Syracuse, being a captain, and also when he was down going through that adversity, guys still looking at him to be that leader of the team. So yeah.
Here with Marlowe Wax Jr. on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, peeling back the orange with this 2025 NFL Draft prospect. Marlowe, you brought up, like you said, even when you weren't on the field, people looking to you. Fran was talking about that this year. I believe he did in a press conference, is that they were still looking at you. And Justin Barron and guys, they're still looking to you. What can you say to that effect? How did you continue to be a leader when you weren't on the field? And then what does it mean to you that the guys were listening to you, whether or not you're on the field? Because there were moments. I think there was a moment where you went into the huddle, and so you're very much in it, even though you're not on the field. You're the guy talking. So, what can you say about working to be that person that people listen to, and what it means to you that they were listening to you, whether or not you were out on the field?
It was very humbling. Like, the first week it was super hard. I was down. I wasn't around the team too much. But when I did come back around the team to practices and the game and everything, and seeing guys when they ran off the field, asking me for tips, asking me for things that I seen, when I was speaking up, seeing guys really listening and hearing me out and really taking in whatever I was saying, it meant a lot. I feel as though it was just it's just a mutual respect that guys just understand and see where I've come from and what I've been through to be the linebacker that I am today. It's just certain respect, and I can't thank them enough for that trust and everything, for that trust and respect. So I'm gonna forever love them.
How did you step up and do that? Some people hit adversity, they get depressed, they feel sorry for themselves. Why did you choose to be vocal, to be around? Like you said, the first week was hard, but then you went out there. I mean, there's something inside of you that obviously pushed you to that. You had to make a decision of saying, I am a leader. I'm going to be here. I'm not going to be absent. I'm going to speak up. I'm not going to sit here and cry about it and feel sorry for myself. I'm going to help the team. Bring me into that spirit that you have inside of you, because not everybody's going to do that. And you chose to say, this is a tough moment for me personally. I'm going to put my personal aside. I'm going to help my team. And I think every one of the 32 NFL franchises should love that. Why did you decide to do that?
I honestly think it's just the strength from my prayer. It was the Spirit of Lord Jesus Christ within me, just being able to pour that out of me, being able to pour into my teammates, guys who were younger than me, guys who were my age, who had questions, who needed to learn, who just needed to hear my voice. So it was just him letting me know that was my purpose at that moment in that time right there, which I did have to learn the hard way, not being able to play the sport that I love, but he turned me to another lane in my life that I feel like I needed to do, and that which it was. So it wasn't once I understood that after all the tears and adversity and everything. Once I understood that through prayer and talking to him, he gave me signs. I was okay with it, and I was good, and I knew what I had to do moving forward.
You said that you prayed to God, prayed to Jesus, and you heard from him that he gave you signs. What was your prayer that what is it that you remember about your prayer, and how did he show you?
So first, I'm just always just being thankful for where I am through all the hard times, through all the good times. Just saying thankful, and just asking. I am asking for signs for him to show me why these things are happening or how these things are happening, how I can better myself. But also just let him know that I am trusting, that I am here. I'm not giving up in no way, and just continue to thank him and repent me for anything that I'm doing wrong if there is any distrust. But just after that, as I go through my everyday life, and just the signs are really just like I said, it was just when the guys coming off the sideline really listening to me, the guys asking me for questions, the coaches asking me, letting me know like Marlo, the team needs you to talk, just little stuff like that.
Yeah.
And really, it was just when I did come back, when I came back, and me playing good, me just catching those interceptions, getting those sacks when I did get back, and me feeling good, which the treatment was tough, but just those signs out of nowhere where I'm just having great weeks of recoveries when it would took me a long time to have any improvements, and then just out of nowhere in a matter of a day or two, I'm just having crazy amount of improvements, just little stuff like that.
And I mean, that was the thing. When you went out, the question was, how long? How long is he out? I remember I just sat there and said, please don't be the season. Please don't take this away from him. I
Right.
remember sitting there because and you know this. I mean, we wouldn't be talking right now if you didn't know I care about you and I care about every single one of you guys. And that doesn't change. So when I saw you go out, I didn't think about it from the media standpoint and like, let me ask Fran 672 times when he's coming back. I just I was just sitting there saying like, man, whoever's out, I hope they come back and like, dude, he's got one more ride. I want to let him ride this thing out and really show everybody what he's got. So bring me into that and like the get back. Like how long was it supposed to be? Because it was that waiting game of like, are we going to see Marlowe? And then you would show up on the depth chart, but it didn't necessarily mean we were going to see you yet. So just what you could say about kind of like, I know you said God was just showing you signs and things would get better and things would just kind of speed up that you didn't anticipate. But bring me into like, what did they tell you and how long was it supposed to be? Because I was I was sad for somebody that I consider a little brother. I was upset that you weren't out on the field, and I was like, just get him back, man. So like, bring me into the experience.
So first time thing we heard was 6 to 8 weeks,
Okay.
and we knew that was a rush, and 6 to 8 weeks was with the surgery. If I didn't do the surgery, it was going to be up in the air. We didn't know. It was going to be on your body whenever it healed. It healed. So
Yeah.
since it was my last year and everything I had on the line, I felt as though I needed to go under the needle. So got the
Yeah.
surgery, 6 to 8 weeks. So as the weeks are going on, time is going, improvements wasn't really happening. So honestly, I was scared. Didn't know what was going on. A lot of people were scared. A lot of people in the building were scared for like 3 weeks to a month. We're not really making any improvements at all. And then about the fifth week, just out of nowhere, we just start making crazy improvements day by day, day by day. I'm getting better. I'm running. I'm running. Everything's moving. I was supposed to be moving and everything like that. So in those 6 to 8 weeks, we did. It was great that I had both of the bye weeks, and I didn't miss. I didn't miss 8 games. Those two bye weeks helped me out. Blah blah blah. So,
Yeah.
and the week that I felt as though I really felt good, we had a bye week before the pit game. So the pit game, going into the game, we still didn't know for sure if I was going to play like at all.
Yeah.
We talked about it. I was doing a little bit in practice, like getting two reps out of all of 2 reps out of four plays, but we didn't know. But the day of the game, I go out there on the field, I warm up. It's just adrenaline. I took a little bit of medicine, and I just felt good. So, and I wanted to be out there. Like honestly, I didn't want to waste another game. I seen too many games go past.
Yeah.
But so in warm ups and everything, I said I feel good. I told my linebacker coach, so coach friend, and it was a goal. So I walked out there, pick game. I didn't get a lot of snaps just because of how that game went, but I felt great. And the next week with Virginia Tech, I felt as though it was my breakout game. I played great. Got linebacker of the week. I feel like that was really my true first game back, honestly. So yeah, and then I kept getting. I wasn't on everybody. I feel like everybody knew that. They seen the way I was running, see the way I was playing. I wasn't 100% from the start.
Yeah.
That was just me trying to be out there. But I was getting better. I feel like everybody's seen it in the film. I was getting better game by game, game by game. By Washington State game, I felt good.
Yeah, and that Washington State game, you guys played. I
Mm.
monitor this stuff around the country. The fact that the transfer portal opens at the end of the regular season and people
Yeah,
can just quit on their team before bowl games, before the college football playoff, and that there's free agency. I had coaches telling me that they had other schools calling and reaching out to their players while they were in college football playoff practice.
for sure.
So, my question to you, and I feel like I know this answer in my heart, but you're in the locker room. So, Syracuse wasn't the opt out team. We see so many schools opting out. We're not in the college football playoff. We're not going to play. Oh, we're in this, but even though we're in the college football playoff, I want to go make money. NIL, da da da. I'm not going to play. And we see schools. I mean, we saw Marshall completely back out of their bowl game and say
Yeah,
we're not even going to compete in this bowl game and left Army high and dry. Washington State, the team that you went up against, the coach is gone. 20 some odd players are gone. Why did Syracuse not do that? Why the guys that were healthy, the guys that could play, y'all played. It was an actual game. It was not this bowl game of like the third string guys and the true freshmen because none of the starters wanted to play. Why did Syracuse come to play? Number one, I want to know why from the inside. And then the second thing is just more of a statement. Thank you for representing my city, and thank you for not sitting out that game.
for sure. 1,000%. And I think it's just a this is a culture thing, and it's also just a thing like guys like you is just we know the community and the team just wanted to really just see us out there for one more time, and also the for everyone we wanted it for the whole city for the whole community we wanted to get that 10th win. We all knew that 10th win was going to mean everything. It was going to really let us know that we were one of them teams that Syracuse is going to forever have to bring up. That's getting double digit wins. It hasn't happened too many times in the past 20 years. So
Yeah.
us getting that meant everything. And honestly, it was just like leaders on the team. It wasn't too much conversation really. And I got to give flowers to Kyle. He's our quarterback. He's the leader of our team. He's the head honcho. So when he let us know that like yeah he's probably playing in the game, then it was easy for the rest of us. Like we know if head honcho's gonna play, then we already know we're gonna play and we're gonna thug it out for the last game.
So you said when you find out Kyle McCord's playing, that hit you some kind of
Mhm.
way. It made you feel some kind of way. That speaks to his leadership on this team. What can you say to that? And that I mean, because those are some big words to say. We as a team hear Kyle say, "I'm playing," and then that made it pretty easy for us. Just what you could say to that leadership because he's only been on the team for a year. That you're a vet on this team. You've been wearing orange and blue for a while. How quickly did he become a leader on the team, and just what type of leader you think he is?
I was actually surprised. First time Kyle coming to the team and everything. I was surprised how good of a leader he was. He was cool the day I met him, but I just didn't know he was gonna be the leader, which how he was. I knew he was gonna be a leader, of course, because you have to be for a quarterback. But just the way he was vocal, the way he could take over a room, the way he talked to his players when it was needed to be talked to. I really feel like we needed that. You need your quarterback to be the head honcho of the team. Yes, it's the head coach, then it's the quarterback. The quarterback is for the players, the quarterback's for the coaches, for everything. So you really need that, and I feel like that's really one of the great things that while we was a really successful team this year, God give him his flowers. He's very talented, but even better leader.
Well, on the defensive side of the ball, I would consider you to be a leader. What can you say about how you've evolved as a leader? They listen to you. They listen to you if you're in sweatpants. They listen to you if you got a helmet on. So, how did you evolve to be the leader that you are? And how would you describe your leadership style?
So yeah, for sure, I started off first getting to Syracuse. I was the laid back chill guy. I wasn't the one that was too vocal. I was just doing what I needed to do, doing the extra work and everything like that. And guys loved that and I was attracted to that. But also
Yeah.
we gotta give my flowers to Michael Jones. I learned a lot from him. he's the guy that's just naturally a leader. He's naturally the vocal guy and guy that's just always people just attached to him because of how he works and how he talks to people and he relates to people. So I learned a lot from him just sitting back to him when he was the guy here. Just he brought the vocalness up out of me, just letting me know that Marlo, like this gonna be yours next, like blah blah. You're the one that needs to be vocal. So I definitely got better. I feel as though I got better year by year, just being the guy that's talking to the whole team and just leading vocally. So I always felt as though I led by example, but leading by example is sometimes just doing what you're told to, doing what you have to do. You doing it vocally just means a little bit different.
And for you in that evolution to be the leader that you are today, how would you describe that style?
The style is definitely guys can definitely lead by example. A guy that just everyone in the locker room can relate to. Like it's nobody in the locker room where I don't have conversations with. Like nobody can say that I'm relating to everybody, talking to everybody, have a relationship with everybody, and also who's super who is vocal when needed. And when I do speak up, everyone listens because I'm not just a guy just yelling for rah rah. I'm speaking when needed.
I love that. Marlowe Wax Jr. here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora in this Peeling Back the Orange special inside the Great Lakes Honda City studios. So we go to Pro Day, and we had heard things like you were playing through the season at like 55%, that you weren't 100%. So you get to Pro Day. Did you feel 100%? I mean, it seems like you're 100% right now, but I'd love to get your thoughts on if you are 100% and your immediate reaction to your Pro Day.
Oh yeah, for sure. That was when I did get hurt or when I did come back and when I wasn't playing at 100%. I was a little worried. I was like, dang, after the season when I go to because you train for the pro day and combine right after the season. So I'm having questions like, dang, am I not gonna be 100% to be able to run fast on pro day and stuff like that? I was scared. This was during the season.
Yeah.
After the season and going to down Florida to train, it wasn't even a thought anymore. Like, I'm 100% for sure. I don't even think about the injury anymore. Like, that's the back of my head.
And so you go into Pro Day and you have an incredible 40, but there's all these other elements to it as well. How do you assess your Pro Day and what you can say about the things that you did in front of these NFL teams, the things that stuck with you, that you felt like, yeah, you know what? I mean, people are talking about your 40, but I want to know, what do you think about your 40 and what do you think about the other elements of it as well? Because they're testing all different things about you, your speed, your agility, your ability to change direction quickly, to hear what somebody's saying, take direction, and be able to, stop on a dime and be able to move. There's a lot of things that I pay attention to because I've been around NFL teams and I've been around college football teams. So there's different things that they're looking for, little nuances. So how do you assess your pro day?
Firstly, just want to give thanks to God. Him bless me for being in that position. But honestly, I feel as though everything it takes to be a linebacker in the next level and in this game that we all love. I feel like I dominated everything that it takes for to be a great linebacker. When we're first talking about bench, I got 23 reps. If you take that to the combine, that's top three.
Yeah.
My short shuttle was a 4.2, which I was a little mad at because I was getting some 4.1s in training, but 4.2, if you take that across the nation, that's going to be top three, top five. And we're talking about my 40. I feel as though I ran fast. If we put the numbers together, it's going to be top at the combine, which the who guys was invited. So being able to run fast, change short area direction, change direction quickly, being able to be strong, upper body. And also my three cone was very fast. That would be top at the combine. So really, just all those things. It it's all you ask for a linebacker to do. It's all short area quickness and speed and strength. So I feel as though I did that and everything on the field. I feel like I dominated, which was the three cone, short shuttle, 40, and the field drills. I feel like I moved good. I looked good and everything. And definitely, I know there was a lot of questions if I was going to run fast. I feel like I did. There was a lot of questions if Marlowe was going to be able to change his body and look different and look more not healthy, but look more cut up, and everything. I feel like I did that, and it was definitely a drastic difference.
So doing that, like having that in the back of your mind during the season, playing the season, and then thinking in your head, pro day, got to be ready, got to have all this stuff. You're doing two things at once. How are you working out a regimen for you? Because you can't just end the season and go, okay, time to get fit, time to eat well, time to start doing these things. I mean, this is something you had to look at ahead of time. So, what were you doing in the season to trim your body fat, build your muscle, put yourself in a situation where you were going to be faster, more agile, and whatnot? What were the things that you were doing that are unseen? Because anyone can hand you a training regimen. And I know you said you worked out down in Florida, but there's this element that I think is one of the X factors is when an actual human being says, away from everybody, away from all the sheets and all the diets and all the videos, if I do some things on my own and I push myself a little bit farther, that's going to be the difference. So I'm asking you for those pieces where you pushed yourself farther.
For sure. I mean, everybody that's around me, they know that once 2023 season ended and I knew I was coming back, I was already locked in, not looking forward too much, but preparing myself so I could be my best version around this time. So the diet and everything, changing my body, that started early. I've been doing that for a year, just getting ready for that, cutting sweets out, cutting carbs out at certain times and everything like that. But the speed work behind the scenes of me getting ready for the bulwark, the film, me in my at my house, what it is, 10 p.m. I'm on the whiteboard. I'm just watching certain film, watching my own film, getting prepared for those questions. Me watching other people going through it, like YouTube videos, watching other people go through this process, just learning from them. Me calling old teammates who've been through this process, just asking them questions. Like I was training with Zaire in Tampa, so asking him a lot of questions about how his process went. Because me and his process are going pretty much the same way. So
Yeah.
just asking how did he do, how did he react to certain things. It's just I feel as though it's the stuff that you do when nobody's looking that really gives you that extra step in front of people. So I'm a big believer in that. So that's something I'm always doing. So I feel like that's how I thrive is how I do the behind the scenes stuff when nobody's working. And also just the different speed work I was doing over the summer. And I've been doing speed work since I was young. So we've got to give flowers to my trainers back in Baltimore. I was doing speed work in high school and just remembering that while I am training in Florida.
And you said you worked out with Zaire. Zaire was the victim of a change in leadership and a change in defense. And I said repeatedly, the first 2 years of him on defense with Scott Schaefer being the head coach and the way that Scott had him attacking and blitzing and everything, great film. And then when Dino came in and he had a certain defensive coordinator in there, the defense was soft. The defense was read and react. There was no attacking. It was like after they catch it, after they get 5 or 10 yards, what are you going to do? And it was such a weak style. And I think it affected the way that people looked at Zaire. So was I surprised he got drafted? No. Was I surprised he made the team? No. Was I surprised that he became a captain? No, because he was a victim of the environment of the defense, which didn't speak to his talents and what he can do. So what did he tell you about his process and everything he went through? Because we're not talking about a former Syracuse player that made the NFL and is still there. We're talking about a former Syracuse player that every single year of the last few years at some point is leading the country in total tackles of all defenders. And this year he had the most tackles of any defensive player in the NFL of 32 teams.
He's a guy that's getting better every single year, like you said. And he's a guy that just comes from a certain area, where I come from, Philly and Baltimore, really alike. A guy that's linebacker, a guy that they say is undersized linebacker, and our play styles are very similar. So just asking him questions about his pro day and his meetings and what the teams were asking and stuff like that, and really just letting him know that where you really making money at is when it's time to play football, when it's time to go into camp. All this right now, all the mock drafts, people bringing People you want to see you play run a 40 and everything, get on the board, all of that stuff. Truthfully, it's not football. When it's time to do actual football stuff in camp, when it's time to compete, that's where you gotta thrive. That's where you gotta make your plays. That's where you gotta be a difference maker. You gotta get the ball. You gotta get interceptions and stuff like that. That's what's gonna catch the coach's eyes and be able to wanting to keep you around and move you up that depth chart.
Yeah, and you mentioned Baltimore, Maryland, hailing from Baltimore. What did that do? What has that done? What has that built in you? Because everybody's hometown means something to them, and we all have a connection to our hometown that just sits in our heart, sits on our chest, sits with us, sits on our shoulders at times, or it's in our mind. Thinking about your hometown of Baltimore, what does that do on the daily for you when you think about your hometown and where you came from?
If anybody, everybody that knows me, anybody that's around me, they know I wear Baltimore. I wear Baltimore on my sleeve. It's I talk about it every day, and I really, 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 truly love where I'm from. Like it's everything. I feel like it's done everything for me. It's the things that I've seen, the things that I've been through, the people around me, what they've been through, just all that experiences. It really just built me and built a different type of chip on my shoulder that I'm just gonna take with me in every room that I go into. And it's just I'm gonna forever thank the experiences that has brought me and the people that have brought me in my life that it's I can never forget about it, honestly.
So, I mean, obviously, Baltimore has a franchise. If God told you you were going to be a Steeler, a Brown, or a Bengal, how would you react, sir?
Honestly, people ask me these questions. Usually, it's just the Steelers. They ask me this question all the time, but man, I ain't gonna be mad at all, man. I'm just gonna be thankful to being able to be in the NFL. Honestly.
Yeah, no, I know that. I just had to give you a little razz on that. Before we get to rapid fire here, the linebackers that are on Syracuse this season, the guys that are still on the squad here, Jaden Brown, Josh Kabbalah, Fatim Diggs, Fadil's younger brother, as well as Caden Brown and Zion Moultrie Goddard, who I spoke to in his recruitment, Fran Brown's son, Fran Brown Jr., David Amapariola, also from Maryland, Derek McDonald, Anwar Sparrow, who decided to come back, James Hurd, and company from there. When you think of this linebacker crew, and by the way, for those that don't know, David, when I was talking to him, that's not his first name. First name, David's
Yeah,
first name is Olamawade Malade, and then it's
yeah.
Amapariola. So I only know him as that first name. I don't know him as David. So when we look at the linebackers of this Syracuse team for 2025, what comes to mind for you? Because they talk about youth, they talk about guys having to step up in this that. Derek McDonald's obviously he's grandpa now in this crew. But what can you say about the linebacker group?
No, I'm really excited. I'm still here with them guys, talking to them every day. I'm at all the practices and stuff like that. But I'm super excited what they're gonna bring to the season. Like it's gonna be a lot of them playing. It's gonna be because a lot of them are super talented. Like they're all eager to play. They are eager to make plays. And I'm really excited who's going to step out this year and be that guy of the room. But I know it's going to be a lot of them playing, a lot of them on the field making plays for sure.
To the coaching staff, Fran Brown, the head coach, defensive coordinator, Elijah Robinson, co-D coordinator, and your linebackers coach, Robert Wright. What do you want to say to those guys?
Honestly, just gotta thank them. Firstly, thankful for what they did. Thank you for pushing me the way they did. Honestly, it was a total different culture this past year than what it was. If this culture, if I had this culture my whole career, I'd be a total different player. Honestly, like it's what needed to be here. Thankful for changing Syracuse around and bringing what they bring, and just the countless hours of work that they put in. And they truly love what they do. They truly love the players that they coach. They really want to see them become men and not just NFL players. They want to see them become men and be great fathers and everything moving forward. And honestly, just with the system that they bring, we're talking about football now. That's the true, real system that I had fun playing in, like that you see at the next level. Thankful for that, and thank you for giving me the trust to lead the defense. And honestly, being able to flourish in the defense that we play.
I mean, you mentioned coming and playing or staying and playing with Fran here and giving him a chance. Why did you give him a chance? What was it about his message? Because Dino gets let go, and then the question becomes who's the coach going to be? And then it's January, and then it's like, okay, some decision has to be made. There's all these names out there. And I remember Dan Mullen, former Florida coach, his name was out there, and I got absolutely ridiculed on social media for saying that there was no way he was going to be the head coach. I ended up being right. He didn't even interview for the job.
Right.
So, Fran, when you found out, okay, Fran Brown's going to be the coach, why did you give him a chance? And what was it that he said and or did that made you say, I'm going to stay? So why did you decide to at least hear him out? And then once you heard him out, what was it that made you say, you know what, I got to stay at Syracuse?
Me deciding to hear him out, like honestly, like why not? Like who am I to say no? Like it's a very touted guy coming in who was blessed and prepared for this job. So and also Syracuse home, Syracuse community. If it's any chance that is there any chance that I was coming back and I'm not gonna be at Syracuse and me watching Syracuse strive, that was gonna hurt me. That was gonna hurt me. If I'm at another school and Syracuse is playing good, yeah, that was gonna hurt me a lot. But honestly,
Yeah.
I heard a lot about Coach Fran. I heard all good things. He was very known back in my hometown era, and the guys that was on the team talked about him a lot. So that conversation it went really well. And honestly, just a guy that if it was super comfortable talking to him. It was a guy that I could really relate to, a guy who come from a place just like me, and that he seriously had his plan planned out how he wanted everything to go, and that was something that I really liked. And honestly, I was in the room. I let him know that like, yeah, we're gonna need a quarterback. We need somebody who's gonna lead this team. And he let me know that he's getting Kyle. I didn't believe him. I didn't know who I didn't know who the recruiter he was. I was like, no, no way Kyle coming from Iowa State to come down here and like, no, it's not happening. He said, watch this, and he really did it. And I was like, damn, like he's serious about what he's talking about.
So when he got Kyle, did he come up to you and say, "Yeah, Marlowe, like I told you"? Like did he razz you, or did you go to him and say like, "All right, dude, like I'm never gonna mess with you about recruiting again"? I mean, was there any back and forth after he got Kyle?
I went to him. I was like, damn, you was serious. Like you really got it. He said, I told you so. But honestly, it was the when I let him know that I wanted to play behind some big boys D linemen. He said, I said, I'm already on it. I got Fidel Diggs coming. I got Deion Wilson coming. I'm like, so he really like it. I was surprised honestly because it was nothing like that I ever experienced. Like just people bringing in guys so fast like that and like true really good guys. So like I'm like dang, like I'm surprised like he really on it. Like he got Fidel Diggs about to sign already. He got Colin McCoy about to sign. He got all these Georgia boys that he's bringing with him already on the plane on the way. I'm like dang, this is crazy, and I was all for it.
Yeah, and to be where you are right now, and to have this moment, you said if Fran was there, if this staff was there, your whole career, that like everything that was different in this past year, that you would have been so much better. All these things would have happened and whatnot. So for you to see him, what does Syracuse have in him? What does Syracuse have in Fran Brown? Because you deal with him every day. You're with him all the time. You're with him at practice. You're with him in film study. You're with him on the plane. You're with him with meals. You're with him in the game. So what is it like to live around Fran Brown? And who is Fran Brown from your point of view? Since you have seen so many different coaches at Syracuse, who is Fran Brown? What does Syracuse really have?
God, that's just never gonna rest. He's been doubted his whole life. He comes from a place where nobody is doing what he does, so he feels as though he just needs to take it up to a notch, another level. He's doing something where being a head coach of a prestigious school like this, where every all the other coaches don't look like him, so he feels as though he just needs to take it up another level. So he's never stopping. He's countless hours. He's falling asleep in the facility. He's locked in. He's so much time away from his family because he's just trying to keep on going so his family can be good for the rest of their lives. He just cares so much about the players like they're his own kids. You see, we have so many. We have about five, four for coaches' kids on the team and things like that. So that's just also just ridiculous. Like he really cares about these kids and want to make them great men. You see, he's starting things up, talking about when you graduate from Syracuse, the first 6 months you're gonna have a job, stuff like that. Like it's not just about football. He's not coming out media just talking about football. He's talking about about people after football, after school, and everything.
So you've had this experience, you've had this education, you've had time with Fran. So you put all this package together for Marlowe Wax Jr. I'm a general manager of the NFL. Why am I drafting you? Why am I giving you a shot? Why am I bringing you into my rookie mini camp and then into my training camp and potentially to my 53-man roster?
First, a guy that just loves football. He dreamed about this position for his whole life. It's everything in his whole life just revolves around football. There's nothing else that he'd rather be doing. He'd be locked in all areas. So we're talking about linebacker being on the field and special teams. A guy that's just special teams player who's done it his whole career at Syracuse and really loves to thrive in it and do whatever he needs to do for his team. And also a guy that's just true guy locker room. A guy that's just gonna who other guys are gonna love him in the locker room and trust to do whatever wherever is needed. And also who can grow to be a true leader of a team of a franchise, which he's done that at Syracuse for the 5 years that he was there.
Marlowe Wax Jr. What would Dad say right now?
I ask that myself all the time. I ask my mom that all the time. What would he say? But she lets me know he'll be happy. Being able to be the first male in the family to graduate from college, and able to be the only one in the family to play D1 sports and being able to have the opportunity to go play professional. He'll be happy. This is what he always wanted. He always wanted me to play. He always wanted me to stay in sports. That was something he asked for of the family before he left us. So him seeing me still thriving in this, I hope he's smiling down, still happy.
I'm going to tell you this, Marlowe. Your dad has only just seen the beginning.
Hmm.
Let's play some rapid fire. You can ask me any question in the world. You've been great with answering my questions. You never get to ask them. But here on Wake Up Call, I let athletes and coaches ask questions. So you get to ask me a question. What do you got?
What position would you play if you was playing ball right now on
I'll tell
Syracuse?
you this right now. I had a perfect spiral yesterday at practice, and then I threw a pass over to Trevor, and I don't know what happened. I was thinking about it too much, and then I went, and I mean, I know this is a family show, but I'll tell you what I said. And so after I threw that nice spiral to the coach at the end of practice, I threw just like an awful pass to Trevor, and I said, "Oh shit, my bad." so so I would say, I mean, if it was up to me, I'd want to play quarterback. I want it on my shoulders, but if I wasn't playing quarterback, then I definitely would be playing defensive back because if I'm not going to throw the completion, I want the interception. I want to outsmart the quarterback. I want to stare him down. I want him to not know what I'm thinking, and I want to pick that ball off and I want to take it to the house. So I would say I'm either the guy throwing the touchdown or I'm the guy running it back.
Yeah, I got you.
That's what I would say. All right. I'm going to ask you this since you asked me that question. Be gentle with me, Marlowe. We've known each other for a while. If I was trying out for Syracuse right now, what position would you put me on? Stop laughing, man.
I don't know how fast you is, but my first thought is thinking about putting you back in the post, putting you back there as a safety, like a cool with a gene type of player. Putting
Okay.
you back there, you making some plays. But if you're a little fast, might put you at slot, a little Trevor Pengy or something like that.
Okay. All right. I respect it. I don't know why the heck you're laughing. So, so what's your next
I'm
question?
just thinking about you running out there, making a tackle or catching a touchdown. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, because you guys know me as a nice guy, but you put me out there. Listen. I'm around the media all the time. I got anger. so
Okay,
so I
okay,
see the same anger that y'all got. So I
yeah.
got that same chip on my shoulder. You put me out there and you say, "Hey Dan, you see that person? See that person on the other side wearing the other jersey? That's one of the
Well,
media people that stole your story. I'm gonna knock that guy the heck out. I'll tell you that much. So put me out there, Marlo. What's your second question for me?
uh, as you go around, we were talking about it off the camera. As you go around like to different schools and stuff, what's your second favorite team right now? What's a team that maybe not your favorite team, but a team that like you love to do work on, you love to watch play when you go there? Like what other team other than Syracuse?
That's a good question.
Why? Why other team about that team?
Yeah, no, that's a really good question. I'm very spoiled by God. I'm extremely blessed, and the amount of teams that I've gotten to cover, it's I don't even have words. The coaches that I got their cell phone number, just text them, give
See,
them a call. I would have to say, like right now in this moment, if I had to pick a school that I just feel connected to them, and I felt connected to them for a while in the American Athletic. Now they're in the ACC, but I've known them for many years in the American Athletic. I would say SMU. And I know Syracuse playing SMU this year, and y'all don't play them every year, but they were disrespected in the American, and they were almost disrespected in the ACC.
mm,
So I would say like Rhett Lashley, his faith, the way he goes about it, just there's something about the program, there's something about the school that I respect. So I would say SMU. I think at times I would say UCF, Central Florida. Spent a lot of time in the bounce house. So yeah, I think it's like it's teams that I've defended, teams that I didn't have like any skin in the game. I'm gonna do what's right, and I'm gonna tell the truth, and I'm gonna defend who needs to be defended. And I feel like I've gotten really close to teams because of that. I love Army Navy. I love
okay.
Army Navy because my grandfathers served and my
Hmm.
great uncles also in the Air Force. So the Army Navy game going to that this past season was absolutely incredible, and I didn't think of anything other than my grandfathers. I didn't care what the score was going to be. I didn't care who
Hmm.
won. I respect both coaches. I know them both. So yeah, I would probably say there's a few, but SMU has a special place in my heart. They definitely do because we've had a long road together, and I've been through a bunch of different coaches, and I really like Rhett. I think Rhett's a good guy. So
Okay.
I would say
Okay.
that. My question back to you: hmm, if you had to create yourself on Madden, oh no, yeah, let's do Madden because you're going to the NFL. So if you had to create yourself on Madden, I want to know out of 100, I want to know your speed that you'd give yourself. Be real, speed, strength, all these things. Like let's do speed, let's do strength, and let's do your ability to pick off a pass and whatnot. So just like your wherewithal of the game. Give me your score. Give me how you would score yourself in Madden.
Speed. I gotta look at on NCAA they gave me 81 speed, which was disrespectful.
That's wrong. Yeah,
I
that's wrong.
couldn't if I was in man coverage on the running back on the game, if you go do it right now, it's an automatic touchdown. They're not letting me cover nobody. But speed, I gotta say 88. I think that's a good number.
Okay.
I don't know like the scale and everything, but I think 88 is good. Strength, 23 reps on bench. I gotta go like a 91, 92 strength.
Okay. I was gonna say 92. All right.
91, 92. What was the other one?
Like
Like you said,
the
coverage.
intelligence, the wherewithal, like the ability to kind of read the quarterback and pick the ball off. So I guess
Oh,
IQ we would say.
IQ, I don't know like the scale. Like I don't know. I gotta go like I'm gonna go like 90. I'm gonna go 90,
Okay.
91.
Okay.
That's what I would do.
All right.
I feel comfortable out there. I think that my preparation is up there. What I do before the games. I know what's going on.
I
Yeah.
like that. I like that that was humble because other people would be like 99 on everything. So
No, heck no, heck no.
I like that. What's your last question for me, Marlo?
Um, let me think. Let me think. One sec.
Okay.
Do you what would you what would you, no, let me think. I don't know. Hold up one sec. I gotta think. All right, so where do you see no, I'm actually this one. Have you ever had a player like dislike one of your questions, like snap back at you when they ask you a question, like during the interview or anything like that? Because sometimes I see that like in the NBA, I feel like I see NBA guys do that a lot. Like
Yeah.
when the media go in the locker room and they ask crazy questions, they look at them like that or ignore them or stuff like that.
So I'm
You
going to
ever had
tell
that?
you, yeah. So I didn't ask a crazy question. I asked an honest question to a guy that was treated like a prima donna.
Mm,
He didn't like my question.
mm.
So I had 2 years with Dwight Howard
Oh yeah.
in Orlando, and the team lost by 10, and he missed 10 free throws. It was something like that. Like he missed 10 or 11 free throws, team lost by 10. So I asked about his free throws, and all these people were like, "Oh man, second quarter, you almost had a dunk. It was great." And this other guy's like, "Oh, you had a dunk," and it was, and they're like, building him up and da 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 da. And I said, "So you missed 10 free throws, the team lost by 10. Do you have any thoughts on that? I mean, it's a direct representation. There's the differential there." And he looks at me, and he looked at all of them like, "Does this guy know who I am? Does he know? Like, is he really going to ask me that question?" And then he just laughed, and then he didn't really say anything to me, and I was like, that's a fair question. Like
Yeah.
you missed many free throws, and it affected your team in a negative way. I wasn't trying to combat him, but I was just kind of like getting his thoughts, and people were just trying to boost up his ego, and they're like, "Oh, you're such a good dunker, da 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 da," and I'm like, okay. So I would say I remember that moment, and then Antonio Cromartie made fun of my polo shirt before I asked him a question, and I just thought that was wild. I was like, okay, dude, like I don't have 11 kids from 12 different, or I don't have 12 kids from 11 different women. So I'd rather take my shirt over your payroll any day. so, so, I mean,
Facts, no. Facts.
I'm like, Antonio Cromartie is gonna make fun of a shirt that my mom got me. And
Hmm.
you go have all these kids. so, 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 but yeah, I mean, I'm nice to her. I treat you this way. I treat you is the way I treat everybody.
Oh God, yep.
So when people are mean to me, it's weird to me.
Uh-huh.
I would say back to you, back to you. Oh, Antonio, if he hears this show. That's my question back. You gonna talk about my kids, Dan? Yeah, name them. How about you name them? so my question, my, my question back to you, Marlowe, is I'm gonna involve the both of us here. So you and I are gonna make a movie, okay? But you're screenwriting it for the both of us. It's a comedy, so you got to give us both a profession. So what are we doing for work? What city are we in? And what are we doing for work? What city are we in? And what is the climax of it? So it's a comedy. We got to have a job. We got to have a city. And there's got to be something that we're doing. What are we doing?
So, uh, you used to be this lawyer. You was one of the best lawyers in New York City.
Okay.
You got fired for some reason. You got lied on. You got fired for some reason.
Okay.
So you called me up. You start working with me. We in New York City. We work at a bowling alley, just serving people food. And what the problem is, you got 9 kids, 10 kids, 11 kids. You got 11 kids. So we gotta figure out. You come to me and ask me how we going to get you another job or get you something for your kids. So we're running around the whole city trying to get you some money, trying to figure it out. We delivering people food, we door dashing, we doing all of that, trying to get some money for your kids. You put some food on the table.
Antonio Cromartie, this man just flipped the script on me. And you know what I would do? You know what I would do for my kids to have fun? This would be my daycare. I'd take all the pins out from one of the lanes because if I have 11 kids or whatever that is, I'd have them all stand there. I'd be like, Daddy, gonna roll the ball to you. If I touch you, you gotta fall down. That's what we would do. And whoever's left standing, you get to eat. You get to have the food today. Because what did George Lopez say? Lick it and pass it. He would have
Yeah.
the churro, lick it and pass it. See what happens if you bite it. So whatever kid's the one left standing, he could bite the churro or she could bite the churro, but the rest of them got to lick it and pass it.
Hmm.
That's how we would live it. So Marlowe Wax just Antonio Cromartied me at the end of the interview. I don't know what to say. I have no words. So Marlowe Wax Jr. Draft this man, Syracuse linebacker, alum, 2025 NFL draft prospect. Whatever team he goes to, I'm going to love because they gave him an opportunity. Marlowe, you get the final word. So we're ahead of the draft here. You get the final word, last thing you want to say, because we can't end on, I got 11 kids. That's ridiculous.
Just to any GM out there, just don't overthink it. Look at the tape, look at the production. It's there. Just don't overthink it.
I love it. Don't overthink it. Great words for anybody in life. Marlowe Wax Jr.
Baltimore, come get me.
Oh, there it is. I was waiting for it. So, Baltimore, come get me. And don't overthink it to all 32 NFL franchises. Marlowe Wax Jr., linebacker, Syracuse Orange history, and, of course, soon to be an NFL linebacker. Here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Mr. Wax, I appreciate you, I respect you, and I thank you for the friendship over the years.
Thank you, for sure.